All right, welcome to the long-awaited sketchbook tour. I've had the sketchbook for 2 years and I just recently finished it probably about a week and a half ago. But I'm excited to do the sketchbook tour because there was a lot of love put into it, a lot of growth taking place across it, and also a lot of confidence being built throughout the sketchbook. So this is the first page. It's like as soon as you open it, I have my contact information, my name, and then as a reward, good karma and blessings, because I was not about to give anybody money for being a good person in return to my sketchbook. And then I have wabi sabi right here. It's ancient Japanese philosophy that beauty is imperfection. You shouldn't want perfection all the time, you know? And that's something that I really needed to hear for the sketchbook. But here's the official first spread. This was done late 2021, I believe. The gouache is kind of transferred over. That's why I had this sticky note on it. I think this piece in particular helped me gain a lot of confidence just because I didn't think I could get as much detail until doing the frog. Everything else I was a little disappointed in just because that was when I was still battling with perfectionism and all that stuff, but I think it's cute looking back on it. This is a very simple page. We Know the Way by Moana. It's in their native language and then in English, and then just like a little dinosaur head. This was done December 11th, 2021 for a reference of time. And then these are my girls. This was before I started actually learning how to draw faces properly. So their faces aren't really the cutest, but I really like the hairstyles, especially this one and this one. And then we have her right here. And her. I think she's cute. I was proud of myself for the detail that went into the braids because I didn't know I'd be able to do that. And I really like the eyebrows. The eyebrows are cute. I've always kind of struggled with lashes too, so I thought my eyelashes came out pretty good in this one. Here's the next page. It's just doing some studies of noses. I'm trying to get better with anatomy overall, so that's all that is. And then we have this mushroom page. This is actually on my YouTube. If you go back to, I think, painting every day for a week or something like that. But yeah, she's cute. This one and this one are my favorite. This was done December 13th, 2022. It's like a little abstract piece. This is an old one. I think this is like the second thing that I did in the sketchbook. And then we have, it's like my boyfriend's room. I was just sitting down. Here's the next page. I'm still really proud of this just for the same reason as the other ones. I didn't know I could do this much detail. This is when I was watching the documentary about wabi sabi. So I have it written down right here. This was December 14th, 2021. So pretty much everything in the sketchbook I did within a 3-month span. So I am pretty proud of that, you know, because I think there's 60 pages in here. So took some effort and some time, but I got it done. And then I have the clear sticky note on here just because this gouache is a little bit thicker, so it was transferring onto the other paper. But I still really like the floors. It's supposed to be like green tile floors, and then the little rocks and the candles. I think the candles are really cute. Like, look at that. This is another piece where I discovered that I could do a lot more detail than I thought. Like, look at this. Wow, each one is very individual. These are references from Pinterest. Wow, this is from March 4th. Wait, January, February, March. Yeah, March 4th, March 5th of 2020. So, yeah, this was the first thing I did, page 1. I still think it's very pretty. I like the way that I used it kind of like watercolor right here and then added detail over here. And this is when I was using the washi tape to get like the sharp lines or whatever. I think she's still pretty cute. This is honestly one of my favorite pages in the sketchbook. This was done December 2021. So basically, I was getting ready to go on a trip, and I was waiting on my boyfriend. And I just went ahead and started painting. And then coffee spilled on my sketchbook, and I had like a little mini panic attack or whatever. That's why this is so distorted. But then I saw how pretty it was. So I was like, you know what? I may as well just start painting with the coffee. And for a while there, it had a really good smell. It smelled just like coffee. So this whole page is coffee, and then sort of these little brown spots. It still smells like it. It's just a lot more faint, but I really like it. It's like a happy little accident Bob Ross to talk about. This is a bad spread overall. I think I did this in late 2021. This day I was just really frustrated. Like, I was trying my absolute best to do something of substance and it was just turning out bad every time. So I went ahead and wrote out how I felt and then scribbled over it. Love her. Both of these are on my YouTube as well if you want to see like an in-depth video of me painting or whatever. But this is really cute. I love this page right here. As you can see, I have a thing for frogs. I never realized that until I started painting, because I think I have like 2 other frog paintings or whatever. This was a Pinterest reference, a failed Pinterest reference. Ended up getting frustrated doing this one too. But during this time, I was spending like 3 hours every day painting. So I started getting frustrated right here and kind of just gave up on it. But I do really like this page and the colors complement each other. So I'm not too mad at it being unfinished. Then we have this. This is really old. This is when okay, there we go. March 20th, 2020. But it says, love even the bad to appreciate the good. And then this was just like some random scribbles. I do like this, the jellyfish. Everything else is kind of, ugh. Then we have this page. It was supposed to be a ball python. And it was just kind of like random doodles. I think the flowers are pretty cute. I did this one on Christmas Day. It's a boob cactus. I don't know what the proper name for it is, but I did it for Christmas. This was the Christmas tree. And then just a whole bunch of other plants. It's really sketchy. I was debating on painting it in, but I think it looks really cute. Just sketched out. If I want to paint it in eventually, I could just do it on a different page. Or take a picture of it and then digitally do it, but I didn't want to bother it. But this was last year, Christmas Day. Also love this page so much. If you want to see how I did this, this is also on my YouTube. It's just really pretty. I like the use of color, how you can tell they're 2 separate pages, but they still congeal together well. Yeah, just like the use of color, the way that all the colors blend together while still having a nice pop of color. It's one of my favorite spreads in the whole sketchbook. Then we have this one. I think I did all of these in one day. Yeah, I did this one, and then these 2 in one day. I'm a big fan of the planet. I don't like this at all. Like, not even slightly. There's no redeeming, there's no redeeming qualities to this. From far away, it looks good, but up close, like, the colors are saturated weird. The black is transferred over up here. It's not cute, you know? But I really like the planet, so there was something positive that came out of it. And then this was supposed to be a heart planet. It did not work out at all. So I just left it alone. This one's a pretty old one. I think this was like page 9. So this was done in 2020 as well. Still one of my favorite pages. I'm a big fan of abstract stuff like this. This is another older page. I did this March 6, 2020. But honestly, it's one of my favorites in the sketchbook overall. It's a very simple color palette. I think there's probably like 6 or 7 different colors in here total, and they all mesh really well together. I don't really use pen with gouache. I think this is one of the only times that I've ever done it, but I think it came out really nice, especially the leaves, this one in particular. But yeah, I love that page. Then this page was just to get rid of excess gouache. I didn't want to waste it. In theory, this should be one of my favorite spreads just because I took a lot of time on it. But I really don't like either one of them. I feel like I kind of ruined them. Like, if I didn't have this greenery right here, I think it would look a lot better. And then these are supposed to be beams of light coming into the water, but it just didn't really come across that way. This is an attempt to, like, remix the Pablo Picasso, I think it's Pablo Picasso, the water lily painting. And it just didn't turn out the way that I expected it to. I can say I like the lilies. As you can see, I'm a big fan of painting water lilies. And I feel like this background is overdone. I've done the same background like 3 or 4 times. I have like 2 paintings, acrylic paintings in my room with a very similar color palette and like splotchy pattern. I can say I like this lotus a lot. I like the the definition of the different colors within it, and I like the little pixie dust or whatever you want to call it coming off of it, and how it's kind of sporadic going up there. I'm not really a big fan of this lotus, but I do like the little pixie dust or whatever. And then this page, like, I love the background colors. I think the blues are gorgeous. The greens were beautiful, but I ruined it with the sunlight, which is what it's supposed to be. Now, I attempted to fix it by using gold paint marker, but it just didn't end up working out in my favor. I think this page had a lot of potential, but sadly, it didn't come around in the way that I envisioned it. I don't think it's terrible, but it's definitely not what I wanted. This one's also pretty old. This was 4:20 at 1:11 a.m. This was from 2020. Still one of my favorite pages. This one's a mess, but this one's still really cute. I was really big into abstract stuff. I think it was also just because I was intimidated about doing really fine detail. I didn't think that I was capable of it. And then I still haven't finished the giraffe head. I'm gonna get around to it eventually. But I love this page because look how vibrant the yellow is. And I didn't think that I would be able to get as much detail into really anything. This was one of the first paintings that I did in here that showed me that if I really sit down and take the time to paint, I can get as much detail in it as I want it. I don't think the vase is up to standard in comparison to how beautiful the leaves are. The vase looks very flat and basic, even compared to the background, honestly. If I could go back, I probably would paint the vase a different color and I wouldn't put the giraffe on it just because it doesn't really fit. I was trying to go for like an African theme, but it just didn't really pan out in the way that I wanted it to. And also this, I don't know if it's because I used too much water or what, but this whole page like completely came off. So I have a piece of tape right here to hold it together, but I do still like the page. I think the page is really pretty. Just a couple things I'll change about it, but this is my favorite leaf in this one and that one. This is another old one. This was from March 6, 2020. Definitely not one of my favorite pages. I don't like it at all, to be quite honest with you, but you got to start somewhere, you know? So this was an attempt. It's gouache pen and then acrylic in the background and gold paint marker. In this page, I don't know what I was necessarily going for. I think I was just putting color down on the page so that I could fill it up, honestly. I think that's all that was. And this is just a sketch that was roughly based off of Pinterest. I would love this lamp in my room in real life. This is gorgeous. And then I want to expand upon this little drawing in the background. I think the architecture could be really cool to paint out. And then this is another old one. This was done March 20th, 2020. And I hated this page so much. Oh my goodness. This is when I was trying to do detail and I just couldn't get it to look right. But you know what? Looking back on it, I had never painted a face, like, at all. Well, I had never painted a face with gouache, and I was still trying to figure out how gouache worked. So this was pretty good for the time frame, looking back on it. I like the eyes. I think the lips are cool. Yeah, that's about it. But like it says on here, I hate this, but you gotta grow. Can't grow without mistakes. This was an attempt to do a study on Greek sculptures, Greek and Roman sculptures. As you can see, it didn't turn out too well. But I think the collage is pretty, but yeah. I love this page. By far one of my favorite spreads. It's just a whole bunch of random stuff. This is from Instagram. This is a little vase that's in my room. My dog's chew toy. It was supposed to be a face and it was just turning out terrible. So she ended up being a sunflower. This is from my room. I just made this up and then I made this up too. But I really like this page. I think it's, like I said, it's by far one of my favorite in this whole sketchbook. And I'm so proud of myself because, like I said, she's kind of cute. So, yeah, because all the girls' faces that I've had drawn up to this point were terrible. So this was like the first time that I kind of got a good face in with a reference without actually looking up how to draw faces. And here's a page of random stuff. This is the way that the heart planet was supposed to look and then have like sparkles and stuff around it. So that was an attempt to revisit it, but I didn't end up going any further than that. A Pinterest reference, so was this. This was the way that my boyfriend was laying on the bed. another attempt at architecture that's a reference back to, it's a reference back to this one. It's not the exact same, but I still think it's pretty cool. This showed me that I'd actually be really interested in drawing like architectural pieces. I think it's really nice. And this is just a little building on the side. This is another reference from Pinterest. This showed me that drawing wood is a lot more difficult than I expected initially. It's a pretty basic page and it's kind of flat. Like there isn't very much dimension to it, but it was me just, I needed something to paint and I wasn't too keen on it looking perfect. So it's the amount of time that I spent on it, it makes sense why it looks like this. I like the chairs. I think the color combination is really nice. And then the way that the window looks, but that's about it. And then this is another architectural design. This is supposed to be a cod house. I would love to be able to build my own cod house and that just be my final destination to live. Something that looks similar to this. All this is windows, and I have a couple of different buildings up high. And have this made out of the glass bottles and everything like that. I think this could be a really cool design. And this is just basic outfits. There's really nothing much to that page. And then this was my first time doing fan art. Oh my goodness, it's Appa. Yeah, he's cute. The only thing that I changed about him is I gave him a blue arrow instead of keeping it brown like it is in the show. And then this is another old one. This is from 3/14/2020, and it's just affirmations on it. This is another one of my favorite squares in the whole sketchbook, because this was the page that really showed me, like, damn, you can actually do a lot of detail. Like, this was, I know I said the other ones helped, but this was like a very defining moment. If you look at my Instagram, I have like 4 reels just on this because I'm so proud of this page. Because, like, look at it. I don't even know what else to say about it. Like, this is the most detail that I had ever been able to paint up until that point. I've done some more detailed stuff since then, but I think it's really nice. Like, this blackberry right here looks very realistic in my opinion, and everything else is just really aesthetic. These colors still complement each other, so, and then this kind of bleeds over into this side. So we have the orange and the yellow, and then kept the green. The only color that didn't transfer over is the blue, purple, and red. But I think both pages are really cute. The body setup is a reference from Pinterest, but everything else was right from my head. So I'm a big fan of both of these pages. This is a pretty old one too. This was done March 16th, 2020. This is like straight out of Pinterest. It's a reference from somebody else's art that I saw at the time. The only thing that's different is I added these little drips, I guess is what you could call it. But I do like this page a lot. I got a lot of detail in the hand. I don't think I've done a hand that detailed since then, to be quite honest with you. And then this was another attempt to draw girls' faces. Even with references, this is how bad it was turning out. And it was getting really frustrating. It even says on it, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this page? Because I was very upset that everybody was turning out looking that busted. This is another old one. This was probably March 2020 as well. This was the only page I left blank, like within the bulk of the sketchbook, just because it didn't feel like anything needed to be on the page right here, because I don't think every page necessarily needs to be filled up. This was another attempt to draw faces that just turned out terrible. It says I want to draw pretty girls. Why is it so hard? And then on the next page, I finally actually looked up a tutorial on how to draw anatomy. And these girls came out of it. She's still my favorite. This is Bobby and Ube. I think both of these girls are really pretty. I think I will carry them on, and these will be some OCs because they're not really based off of anything. And I think I'll bring this hairstyle over for somebody else. But this is Bobby and Ube up close. I'm still really proud of them. As you can see, what I was making before, like she's cockeyed, her eye, look, it's a mess. Then we have this tiger. I got really frustrated on this page as well. That's why there's only a head. And then we have the animal mashup. So this is a dabbit. It's a rabbit mixed with a duck. And then a bug. It's a butterfly mixed with a sea slug. think this is one of my favorite things in the sketchbook. So is the dab it, because it's just simple and weird. I like it a lot. This is one of my older ones. This is my favorite from all of the 2021 paintings. Oh no! The glue's on the face. It kind of messed it up. The face was just black. It was initially meant to be a tree with a heart and then just have like a basic background, but that's not what it turned out to be. But I do think she's very pretty. This is a newer edition just to fill in this page. I use the same colors over here minus the red. This red had a lot of potential to be gorgeous. I think it just picked the wrong colors in the background because it conflicts with the two characters in the front. I still like the cat. I think the cat's really cute, but this one's my favorite out of the three. The only issue with this one is that I used pencil and didn't really erase it as well as I needed to, but I still like it. I don't think it looks terrible. This is one of the last pages. This was like my first attempt to paint a face since this one. So that's a lot of improvement in my opinion. Like I got the shadows, the highlights really well. The only thing that I really needed to work on was blending better. But for this to be my first attempt in like 2 years to paint a face with gouache, I think it turned out really well. These two, and this was my first time actually doing detail with doing the lips, nose, eyes, eyelashes. I think the eyelashes and the nose. Well, the eyes, period, and the nose were the two things that I struggled the most with. I didn't know what to do on the rest of this page, so I just put some random lips on the side. And that's the end. I just realized I didn't film my outro, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you may as well subscribe because I'm going to be making more like this, more art content, lifestyle. I think I'm going to start leaning more towards art though. We'll see. Y'all are going to grow with me, so we'll see what happens. But thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day.